Good day, welcome to the Localization Podcast, powered by the Nigerian Local Coalition Accelerator, NLC. I still remain your host, Nimrod Grace. In our first episode, we explored localization, talking about what it means and why it matters. In the second episode, we also explored the grand bargain, how there is a commitment made to shift power to local actors for effective and efficient aid delivery. So, in our conversation today, we'll be talking about localization, looking at the broader picture of it beyond just the aid delivery and shifting of power and resources to local actors. And I have with me today Madam Loretta Charles, who is the Director of Programs for the Nigerian Local Coalition Accelerator. I'm glad to have you with me here today.
Thank you too. I'm very happy to be here to share some of my experiences in localization.
And the second guest is someone that has joined us in our previous episode, who is Sir Richard Nyankome, who is the coordinator for the Nigerian Local Coalition Accelerator. Thank you for having you back again, sir.
Thank you, Grace.
So, Mr. Richard, sir, I've had you on my previous episode where you talk about localization as a shift of power and resources to local communities, local actors, so they can effectively and efficiently deliver aid. So in your perspective, what does real power transfer mean beyond just aid delivery? What can you say localization entails in the broader picture?
Yeah, thank you, Grace, for having me. In our previous discourse, we've tried or attempted to discuss broadly the concept of localization. But for me to respond to your question, when we talk about real power shift, what we are looking at now is, thinking beyond just funding. Most times when humanitarian or development actors talk about localizing aid, it's just beyond just, shifting funds. It talks about broadly, how we can leverage local resources and also know-how to support, local activities and operations. For instance, real localization would mean effective decision making, and that means that local NGOs, women associations, youth groups, or community leaders can come together to set priorities, to design, interventions, and also, resource those interventions with their own local knowledge or expertise. So it means that since they are involved directly, then the effort is local. So it doesn't necessarily mean they have to depend on an international assistance, to be able to make aid delivery local. And also, real power shift could also, manifest in terms of institutional capacity strengthening through the actions of the locals. They will be able to put in place structures that emanate from themselves rather than rely on frameworks that are imported. Over time, humanitarian aid has relied on international frameworks. There could be program frameworks, accountability frameworks, monitoring and evaluation frameworks, and all of that. And most times, the design of these frameworks may not fit into local context.
Okay.
So, real power shift means that the communities involved or the people involved are the ones ideating and, also putting in place the frameworks that concerns them. One very key or important idea is about local or indigenous knowledge or cultural relevance. Most times when we deliver aid, we should consider the cultural specifics, so that it doesn't look like we are importing aid. Rather, the aid is domestic. It comes, organic from the people who are affected.
So thank you very much, sir. Ma, to you now. Mr. Richard talked about how that localization is actually local actors taking charge and who defines the problem and who leads the solution. So I would like to ask you now, based on that shift in power to local actors, basically not necessarily dwelling on external but locally made solutions to provide to problems that are locally brought about. Looking at how can localization now ensure that local actors are not just responding to immediate needs, but also building long-term system in terms of sustainability? How does it take to be sustainable? Looking at this shift to them.
If we are talking about localization at this level we are, I think we have to highlight sustainability, because I think that is why the previous initiatives failed. They didn't think of sustainability. How are we going to do it in such a way that even after this, our programs, our initiative that is going to be sustained in the community? And the previous concepts, previous activities and projects have failed because they didn't consider the local actors. And most of the time, because you did not consider them in the development and in the programming, that is why they are not interested. But if you carry them along from concept development to the end and to the sustainability plan, they know what is happening, and you have to tell them the advantage of them being carried along, the advantage of them being the ones implementing, the advantage of them being the ones that are going to, be accountable to the donor, not the international NGO. So empowering local actors, empowering traditional religious leaders in the community, the youth group, is a sustainable plan so that they know. And you find out that most of these people stakeholders we're talking about, we have many graduates in Nigeria. They have all gone home. There is no work anyway. So with localization, it's stepping down this concept at community level. That means we are going to work directly with them in their communities, and I think it's going to be more sustainable. Then capacity building for stakeholders, for civil society organization is a sustainable plan that will make a localization to be extended beyond our imagination.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma.
All right, thank you so much, Grace. I think for me, what I would say strongly will be that localization should not just be about implementation. It could also be how we'll put in place policies. Because when we work with policy frameworks, it supports sustainability, just like she highlighted. So what we are doing should be backed by policies that will bring local voices on the table, on the decision-making table, and we will be developing those frameworks steps, and it will help to keep the work we are doing. Thank you.
So we see that localization, it's beyond just aid delivery, it's beyond the funding flows, it's beyond just shifting power to local actors. It actually dwells on shifting decision making. Let them be a part and parcel of the intervention they are going to be provided with, and also looking to see that their capacity is being built, not just focusing on the resources they are getting immediately. So thank you for joining me today, Sir Richard and Madam Loretta. To our viewers, thank you for staying true with us. I'd like for you to follow us on all our social media handles at Nigerian Local Coalition Accelerator, NLCA. And do well to share with me, what do you see localization in the broader sense, the broader picture, aside just aid delivery? I still remain Nimrod Grace. Thank you. See you next time.